Can a single duet change the way we see two global icons forever? That's the question millions of fans are now asking after witnessing Jin and J-Hope's emotionally charged joint performance at Tokyo Dome, an event so moving that even Coldplay's legendary frontman Chris Martin publicly praised it within hours. It wasn't just a concert. It wasn't just a duet. It was a collision of stars, a gentle storm of emotion, and a moment that even time seemed to pause for. While the crowd of 40,000 fans stood frozen in awe, Jin, the soulful vocalist of BTS, and J-Hope, the firecracker dancer-turned-storyteller, came together for something completely unexpected, a breathtaking, emotionally raw rendition of The Astronaut, originally a solo piece by Jin. But this version was different. J-Hope's presence added texture, vulnerability, and grounding, a surprising yet mesmerizing contrast to Jin's celestial tone. Shortly after the performance ended, Chris Martin, who originally co-wrote The Astronaut with Jin in 2022, took to Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, with a photo of the two BTS members embracing on stage. His caption? "Two souls, one voice. This is art. So proud of you both. I felt it even across the sea." The reaction from the fandom was instant and explosive. Hashtag 2astronauts, hashtag Jin Hope Galaxy, and hashtag Chris Martin praises Jin Hope began trending worldwide within minutes. For longtime fans, this felt like the culmination of a silent wish they never knew they had, to see Jin and J-Hope explore each other's musical worlds. For those new to BTS, it was an invitation into something deeper than just music. This was bond, memory, growth, and transformation in real time. But why is this performance sparking so many emotional responses? Perhaps because Jin, who only recently completed his military service, poured his post-service reflections into the purity of his vocals, while J-Hope, who once shied away from ballads, surprised everyone by delivering a raw and heartfelt harmony that seemed to tremble with sincerity. Some fans claim that during the climax of the song, both Jin and J-Hope had tears in their eyes, a claim supported by several HD fan cams making rounds online. Others speculate that this version of The Astronaut was something the two had quietly rehearsed for months, planning to debut it only when the moment felt cosmically right. If that's true, they couldn't have picked a better setting than Tokyo Dome, a place already rich in BTS history and deeply sentimental to the members and their Japanese fanbase. Chris Martin's words seemed to validate everything fans were already feeling. "I always believed music is about truth, and tonight, these two told a truth that transcends language." The Coldplay frontman also hinted, though cryptically, at a possible future collaboration. "If the universe wants it, we'll meet again in sound." Now, fans across the world are begging for a studio version of this duet, flooding HYB and Bigot Music's social channels with requests, petitions, and fan art. One fan wrote, "If this performance doesn't become an official release, it'll be the biggest heartbreak of 2025. Even Korean entertainment outlets are reporting the moment as a cultural phenomenon. One headline read, "When two stars aligned in Tokyo, Jin and J-Hope redefine The Astronaut." As BTS enters its 12th anniversary celebration, the question now looms. Is this the beginning of a new Subunit era for BTS? Could Jin and J-Hope be testing the waters for a joint album or tour? While nothing is confirmed, fans are buzzing with hope. And if Chris Martin's words mean anything, this won't be the last time these two astronauts launch into orbit together. So now the world waits, with bated breath, open hearts, and eyes on the stars. A storm of emotion, fans react to Jin and J-Hope's unforgettable duet. It's been days since the performance, but the emotional echo hasn't faded. Across the globe, BTS fans, known as ARMY, have taken to social media to share their reactions, many of them deeply personal. "I've never cried like this watching a concert," one user, Onyx, posted. The way J-Hope's voice trembled during Jin's high notes, it felt like he was carrying the weight of every word. "I watched it with my mom, who doesn't even know BTS," another fan from Brazil shared.
"She cried.
She said it reminded her of watching old duets on TV in the 70s. Two people who actually feel the music, not just perform it. Fan cams of the Tokyo Dome performance have already accumulated over 50 million views across platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. One particularly viral clip captures the moment Jin subtly reaches for J-Hope's hand at the song's end, a gesture of quiet gratitude that has already been turned into thousands of GIFs, fan art pieces, and short fanfics. Several major K-pop media outlets, including Simpy, All K-pop, and Koreaboo, have published editorial pieces praising the performance as a career-defining moment, with Rolling Stone Korea calling it the most emotionally potent stage delivered by BTS members post-military service. Industry insiders spark rumors of a Subunit debut. The magic of the night didn't go unnoticed by insiders in the music industry. One anonymous producer affiliated with HYB was quoted in a leaked message to a fan forum saying, "That was not a one-off. Let's just say rehearsals went far beyond one song." Speculation is now running rampant that Jin and J-Hope may be forming a formal subunit, possibly with a conceptual album already in the works. Some fans even noticed that HYB filed 2 new trademarks last month under the names Astronauts Era and Hope from the Moon, although the company has not confirmed any relation to BTS. If true, it would mark the first time Jin and J-Hope have released joint music under a dedicated brand, separate from BTS and possibly with new genre explorations. Fans are especially intrigued by the emotional territory such a unit could cover. Themes of healing, cosmic loneliness, post-military reflection, and artistic rebirth. Chris Martin offers to produce? The Coldplay connection grows stronger. Adding fuel to the fire, Chris Martin appeared on BBC Radio One the day after the performance, where he mentioned the Tokyo Dome moment during a conversation about global music collaborations. When you see 2 people you love singing a song you wrote with them, and they make it better than you ever imagined, that's humbling. I'd work with Jin and J-Hope again in a heartbeat. He then paused before adding, "Maybe we already are." Fans immediately began speculating that a new Coldplay x BTS subunit track could be in production, possibly even a sequel or alternate perspective to The Astronaut. This possibility was amplified when Coldplay's official account reshared the Tokyo Dome fan cam, captioning it, "The stars realigned. Could we be on the verge of a global collaboration that transcends language and culture once more?" Emotional layers. What makes this duet so impactful? At its core, what made this performance resonate so deeply? According to vocal coaches and performance analysts, it was the perfect balance of technique and authenticity. Jin's voice, trained in both classical and modern pop techniques, floated with serene elegance, while J-Hope's more grounded, huskier tone added an unexpected emotional texture. It wasn't about who sang better. It was about the chemistry. J-Hope didn't try to outshine Jin, said Lee Min-kyu, a Korean music critic. He complimented him. That takes maturity, and that's why it worked. That's why it was unforgettable. Beyond the stage, what this moment means for BTS and the future. As BTS approaches their full reunion, expected sometime in 2025 to 2026 after all members complete military service, moments like this are clues to what their next chapter may look like. Subunits, solo explorations, deep conceptual projects, this is no longer just a group of idols. It's a constellation of artists growing independently but orbiting the same heart. If Jin and J-Hope's performance is any indication, the emotional maturity and musical richness of BTS's future work could be unlike anything we've seen before in the K-pop world. One fan summarized it best. This wasn't just 2 guys singing a song. This was a reunion of souls. This was the kind of moment you tell your kids about one day. So what's next? Will there be a studio version? Will HYB confirm the subunit? Is Chris Martin really producing new music with them? No one knows. And maybe that's the beauty of it. Because for now, the memory of 2 voices becoming one in Tokyo is enough to light up the whole ARMY galaxy. And maybe, just maybe, the stars will align again soon. In a world that's still grappling with distance, transition, and the quiet grief of years lost to uncertainty, The Astronaut landed at a time when many needed a reminder that we're not alone in the cosmos, and that even stars drift until they find their gravity. But when J-Hope, known for his high-energy rap, powerful dance lines, and bright persona, stepped into a ballad so drenched in solitude and emotional depth, it sparked the question that ignited headlines around the world. Can J-Hope be as emotional as Jin? The answer, fans say, came not in words, but in the tremble of his voice, in the restraint of his delivery, and most of all, in the respect he showed for the story of the song. He didn't try to reinterpret the astronaut in his own image. He let the song remain Jin's, even while borrowing its starlight. Music critic Noah Yamamoto of Tokyo Beat Weekly noted, "What moved the audience wasn't perfection. It was honesty. J-Hope didn't perform the astronaut to impress. He performed it to feel. And that's what made it unforgettable." Behind the curtain, what we didn't see that night. Multiple insider sources have since revealed that Jin personally asked J-Hope to sing the song, just hours before the performance. Originally, Jin had planned to perform solo, but reportedly felt overwhelmed emotionally in the final rehearsals. An anonymous HYB staff member was overheard telling concert crew, "It wasn't planned. J-Hope just said, 'Hyung, I'll stand with you. I've got you.' And that was it. No ego, no fuss. Just two brothers holding each other up." This behind-the-scenes moment adds a layer of emotional rawness to the performance, especially considering Jin's recent recovery from post-military anxiety, which he's subtly acknowledged in interviews since returning to public life. Some fans suspect that Jin, whose album Happy included tracks about loneliness, hope, and self-worth, may still be navigating an internal storm, and that J-Hope's presence on stage was not just artistic, but personal. A line that changed everything. One fan, known by the handle @AstronomJun on Twitter, summed up the night's emotion in a post that has since gone viral. When Jin sang, "You and Me, an unending history," and J-Hope looked at him like he was about to cry, that was the moment I knew this wasn't just a song anymore. It was a vow. The line, originally interpreted as a farewell to fans during Jin's enlistment, now took on a new layer, a promise between friends, between artists, and between soulmates on stage. Even BTS's official fan club, Weverse Army Zone, posted, "There are songs you listen to, and there are songs you witness. Tonight, we witnessed history." Rumor swirl. Is a J-Hope project in the works? Fueling the rumor mill even more, on June 3rd, just 2 days after the concert, several eagle-eyed fans noticed that both Jin and J-Hope updated their Instagram bios with matching emojis, a rocket, and Milky Way, night sky. HYB has yet to issue a statement, but insiders suggest this could point to a collaborative mini-album, possibly titled The Other Side of the Moon, with at least 3 co-written tracks. Adding heat to the speculation, a well-known sound engineer for HYB posted a now-deleted story on Instagram showing 2 coffee cups labeled J-Hope Sessions 1. Could this be the beginning of a legendary partnership? Some fans are already circulating potential track lists, concept art, and even fan trailers for what they're calling J-Hope, the healing duo. Not just a concert, a cultural reset? For years, K-pop has been celebrated for its precision, choreography, and spectacle. But what Jin and J-Hope achieved that night at Tokyo Dome went beyond even the highest expectations of a BTS performance. This was not just a comeback. This was not just fan service. This was revolutionary. Critics are now labeling the performance as a cultural soft reset for BTS, pivoting away from their high-octane legacy and toward a more introspective, emotionally driven era. This idea was echoed by Takashi Uemura, a professor of media studies in Tokyo. BTS has always been at the forefront of cultural evolution. This duet was not just about Jin or J-Hope.